Hey everybody, welcome to our little introduction to the TI 84 or 83 I guess, or 83 plus or silver edition or whatever calculator. Familiarize yourself with the buttons. I've got this emulator on my computer here and it's really the same as yours. They used to make it look like the exact same calculator, but you can see the keys are arranged just like your calculator at home. So look over the buttons, get familiar with the grouping of the numbers here, and you'll see over on the right hand side you've got the gray. Those are the operators. This is the column of operators here, so plus, minus, etc., etc. Notice the second button up here on the upper left. If you hit that, you get all the blue functions that are above. So for instance, if I want to get the pi, the value of pi is stored there. I just do second and that caret key, and up comes 3.14. There's a lot of cool stuff up there that we'll get to during the year. You'll see that we've got many different functions, but we're going to stick pretty much to the basic, like PEMDAS type stuff. If you want to turn off or clean your screen, you can do second quit like I did just there, and then you hit the clear button and then the enter, and it should get rid of it. Let me see if I try that again. I should hit the clear. There we go. That's clear. You turn off your calculator by doing set second and then the on button. You see down there, that's where the off is. It will turn off automatically, obviously. Notice there are two different, notice that we're going to pay attention to the PEMDAS rules here. I've got -3 squared. You might think that -3 times -3 is +9, but you'll see if I hit enter. You can also get the squared button by hitting the squared key, but -3 squared is -9. That's because in PEMDAS we do exponents first and then we stick on that negative sign out front there. Okay? If we want to do -3, I've got to do parentheses, see that above the 8, and then the -3. Close the parentheses, and then hit the squared key. I'm doing the squared key, same effect, and now I get +9. So pay attention to the order of operations. Pay attention to PEMDAS, all right? Notice also there are two symbols that look very similar. There's a minus sign and there's a minus sign. Well, it turns out that's the negative sign for changing numbers to be negative, and that's the subtraction key there. So 6, and if I hit that key and 3, you might think that looks like 6 minus 3, but really the calculator gets confused. And it gives you syntax error. The calculator will tell you what you do wrong quite often. In this case, it's like a grammatical thing. And notice that you've got two options. You can either quit, option number 1, or even better, the calculator will take you to your error, go to. Many times people panic and turn off their calculator, but the go to will fix it. So we choose option number 2, or we can arrow down to option number 2 and then hit enter, and then it'll take you to your error. Go to the error, and there's the error. So we just type over it the subtraction key and we're good. Hit enter and there's our 3. Okay? So, like I said, look over, know what's out there on your calculator, try the buttons, try some different calculations, work through the worksheet I've given you. Notice the key differences between the order of operations. If we try this one, 5 minus 2 divided by 3, okay, what's going to go first? Well, the division is going to go first, so it's going to be 5 minus 2/3, which will give us 4.33333, repeating, 4 1/3, okay? There it is. But if we wanted the 5 minus 2, because like a fraction bar is put them on top, we got to group them, because a fraction bar is like grouping, and 5 minus 2 divided by 3, there we go, that's going to be maybe what we're after, and that'll be our 1, okay? So again, PEMDAS. If you look it up above, one of the cool things about your calculator is the y equals. We can type in equations to graph. If you remember your simple y equals mx plus b, we can do y equals 2x plus 1, and then we hit the graph key. Sometimes if you've zoomed in on a problem before, the scale is all messed up. To go back to the standard scale, you zoom and you hit it with the 6. Zoom 6 is zoom standard window down there. You can either type in the 6 or you can arrow your way down there and hit enter. But just by pressing number 6 there, you'll see that gives us back our standard window that we want. If you've got a newer calculator, it might have a color screen. It's given us the nice blue line, but many of you don't. Doesn't really matter. I've used the same calculator for about 15 years. They're all good. If I type in another one, and the newer calculators, it will give me a different color. It looks like it'll give me red. I'll try 0.5, so a different slope. -2, hit graph, and there's our second function. Okay, second equation. We're going to do fancy stuff like, where they intersect and how to adjust the window to see a specific smaller zoomed in area. But for now, again, I would just encourage you to kind of try different things and see what happens. When in doubt, you can just quit out and start over again. Here you'll see that we can do a trace button. Right there next to the graph is the trace button, and we'll have a little space alien on that, and we can hit the arrow key to go up or down. Now avoid doing what I'm doing here. I'm hitting the arrow key multiple times, and the calculator can't draw and refresh that fast, so even though I'm not pressing that key, it's still zooming to the left. Eventually it'll turn around and come back, and I can find where those two lines cross if I wanted to. Alright, so that is the basics. I'll work with fractions in the next video or in class, and hopefully that's a good start. Good job.